should welcome more and more talent coming from outside within this industry. Crypto people lose also money in crypto.
What are some challenges?
We want to power this quadrillion-dollar industry. Criminals are not married to crypto industry. I think it is in the top 10 economy of the world, which would help overall this ecosystem mature.
Okay, Mahin, right from building an exchange to now custody, wallet infra, all of this, how have you seen this industry evolve? A, in terms of industry, B, in terms of how we deliver value to customers, and in technology terms, how has it evolved?
I think it is unrecognizable now. So when we started, I think most of the time it was either people who would believe in it philosophically or technically or for some other reasons, but not for business, would jump into it. So the industry was more into more very nascent, trying to do things, trying to figure out whether it makes sense or not. While there were few murmurs that Bitcoin would become a reserve currency one day, and it's not only a technical breakthrough, it is also an economics breakthrough. But very few people would have actually believed that it would be $120,000 or it would be like a $3-4 trillion ecosystem that we have today. So the industry has changed because the way industry was able to deliver its own promise. And one more thing that allowed industry to change is the type of participants that we see now in this industry. So initially, again, it was all enthusiasts, people trying to do things, but now actually real business happening on blockchain. There is ETF. Bitcoin is now reserve currency. So the stakeholders from people who are from gaming industry or a college going student or someone trying to do something around, let's say, transferring money from here and there. Now the stakeholders are US government, ETFs, big institutions, banks, and of course, the crypto industry itself has now big players. So I think industry has evolved a lot. In terms of technology also, tooling also, there is much more clarity. To think it from like before the core banking days, earlier into the internet, while the banks were available as a website, but still you were not able to do a lot of things. The tooling was not there. People's learning curve was not there. I think now the tooling within blockchain and within the whole industry has evolved, not only from the technology side, but also from, let's say, accounting standard side, the AML, CTF side, KYB side. So I think the overall tooling and technology has also evolved by miles now. And I think now it feels like that this is the technology and industry ready to onboard all 7-8 billion people of the world. They are ready for the scale. We are ready for the last mile value delivery. And I think we are ready for the stage where people will not need to say that they are using blockchain or crypto or digital assets, because that would be by default. You would not hear people say that they are using internet. They are using WhatsApp or they are using Uber or something. I think similar thing would happen to blockchain, and I think we are in the very early phase of it. So before 10 years, it was always a question of if, whether, and in fact, there is a website, bitcoinobituaries.com, which is where you will see that there are headlines. Every year, there are headlines that Bitcoin is dead. Now, no one dare to say that Bitcoin is dead. We have passed this phase. So now it is not more about if, it is only about when, and it is just accelerated growth.
Excellent. So, Mahin, what are your thoughts about the industry moving to the ETFs and the most talked about topic right now, stablecoins?
See, I think fundamentally, this is acceptance of this technology's power. What is ETF? ETF gives you access to good investment options, either onto equities or commodities or emerging markets, this, all and so on. Having an ETF which underlying asset is digital assets is a phenomenal thing, and it also shows that this industry and digital asset as a whole has come long way now. ETFs are good because that now puts digital assets and its acceptability on the traditional markets, and it gives a much higher scale, much bigger scale. Again, the participants are now different. So you would see hedge funds, institutions trying to make bets on it. So, and also ETFs it makes the whole market more liquid. If we want to power this quadrillion-dollar industry, then we have to, as an asset, we have to become liquid to certain quadrillion numbers. And this exposure and this access will increase the liquidity of the market, and that generally helps. Stable coins are fundamentally, according to me, I think there are three. People keep asking me that what is use case of blockchain? There are 100 use cases, but first, from my side, there are three successful use cases, case studies you can see. Bitcoin, you may agree, disagree, reserve asset and all of this, but Bitcoin has proven its mettle as of now. Ethereum, especially around the DeFi side, and stablecoin. Stablecoin is the first successful use case of RWAs being used at a very large scale. Stablecoins are easiest low-hanging fruit for traditional financial institutions to come into the picture and participate within this industry. Stablecoins bring down the cost of cross-border transfers, settlements, and everything down to pretty low level compared to what we have right now. In fact, people sometimes ask that we already have a digital dollar, correct? And then why a stable coin is needed. But the digital dollar existed. But can digital dollar empower sub-cent, sub-second transfers with settlement? No. So stable coins can do that. So once you have a technology which is super fast, if you are using edge network or 2G network or 3G network, only certain type of applications are possible on it, correct? But when you have 5G or 6G networks, then certain type of new applications come in. So if you are going to compare stablecoin to digital dollar, then that's apples to oranges. Stablecoin is your 5G, and it would enable new type of applications, which you would see now coming. You would see now lot cheaper remittances, lot faster settlements, cross-border, within borders, and everywhere. Down the line, some within couple of years or maybe next 2-3 years, people would not even say that they are using stable coin, because they would be just using it as dollars.
Coming to one of the world's most populous regions, Asia Pacific, APAC, and the MENA region, the Middle East. These are some of the biggest regions coming into digital assets right now. What are your thoughts around how these regions are growing? What is the potential? What are the big opportunities here?
Again, there are examples here from India, Indonesia, Philippines. If you take mobile wallets or mobile money, you have seen that these, including Africa M-Pesa,
yes,
you would have seen that these economies and these regions have actually innovated and accepted these industries and these technologies much faster than the Western counterparts.
Yes, the opportunity to leapfrog.
Yes. The reason is that here it's a necessity.
Correct.
If you are not able to provide last mile banking infrastructure everywhere, but if you are able to provide last mile mobile phones everywhere, internet everywhere, then banking would go on internet, money would go on internet and mobiles. So same logic is applicable here also. Essentially, blockchain and digital assets are efficient technology. And in a decent enough timeline, efficient technology replaces inefficient technology. Period. There is no doubt about it. Okay. But efficient technologies are used and adopted more faster in the industries and in the economies where they are able to give quick results and they are allowed to leapfrog. So I think in APEC, MENA region, specifically eastern part of the world, you would see blockchain being adopted and actually providing value. One simple fact is that the major inward remittance countries are all in the eastern part of the world, correct?
That's true.
And if stablecoins and cross-border settlement via blockchains and digital assets are going to bring remittance cost to down, then of course these economies would adopt it faster. And regulatory clarity would also, like for example, eastern part of the world always had a better regulatory clarity compared to their western counterparts on the blockchain and digital assets. So I think fundamentally the way this tech is positioned and its first few use cases are, I think APEC and MENA region would reap faster and more benefits. And according to me, I think down the line, less than 10 years, all type of value transfers would happen on one or other type of blockchain. And when I say value transfer, be it your commodities, your real estate, your money, your equities, your structured financial products, every type of value transfer would happen here. And because blockchain brings more efficiency in terms of cost, I think eastern part would adopt it faster.
What about Taiwan specifically?
Taiwan is very interesting economy. While its population is around about 23 million, but in terms of digital economy, its output is as big as Indonesia. I think it is in the top 10 economy of the world, especially around Taiwan has a big manufacturing industry. Taiwan is the manufacturing country, especially around electronics, especially around the semiconductor.
Semiconductor, yes.
So I think we would see a huge adoption there in especially around stable coins and overall digital assets. I think there is we have, like with Liminal Taiwan, we have seen when we are talking to banks and various customers, manufacturers, I think we see a very clear-cut demand and use case coming out of them to use especially stable coins and digital assets. But Taiwan is, I think there is a regulatory clarity is also coming. They have an official VASP association recognized by government. They have now VASP regulation coming in with licenses. Should first set of licenses being assigned in the month of September 25. There is a bill there for stablecoin, which will be again discussed, and we'll go through the law and all the processes. So I think the fundamental building blocks are already there. I think Taiwan is primed and positioned to gain advantage from digital assets, and also Taiwan has a very good ecosystem around IT industry and innovative technologies. So I think they are very well positioned for putting Taiwan on the digital asset roadmap. In fact, I have a lot of calls with lot of talks with people in the industry and people outside in the industry who are watching the industry, and they are all very, very excited about it. I think regulatory clarity has helped, and genuinely, I think Taiwan would see lot of benefit from digital assets in coming years.
So there are a lot of myths around crypto, blockchain, Web3 as an industry. What are some of these myths that you would like to break today?
I think the first thing that so we have been talking to a lot of banks recently, and they have their innovation arm, they have dedicated team to understand this. But still, I think from, let's go back to 1 year back, people from traditional industry would think that crypto is a very high risk industry, and then there are a lot of money laundering issues and all of this. I think it's a very nascent technology. It took banking, internet transfer, wire transfer, international transfers, and everything. It took them decades to figure out their policies. I think the tooling there. I think now there is a very clear-cut expectations of regulators how these systems should behave in the traditional finance. There is a mature industry around AML, reporting, CTF, and so on. There is a very mature industry around audit also. There is very mature industry reporting standards. this has not happened overnight, correct? It took them 3, 4, 5 decades to build this and have everyone come to the same pages globally. Now, I think within crypto also, this has started developing. In fact, it is happening at a much faster pace than the traditional counterpart. But I think fundamentally, the way I look at it is that every industry have their own nuances, their own problems. But as the industry matures, as mature players comes into it, serious players comes into it, the industry becomes bigger. If the industry is bigger, then it is regulated. There is no point for regulator to regulate a small industry. So I think fundamentally the AML issues and other issues are still there would be these issues, but I think they are being addressed much at a much faster pace. So I think crypto may not be that high risk industry now, still may be risky industry compared to the traditional finances, not because of the use cases or not because the way it is being used. It's just because the maturity of the ecosystem, maturity of the regulation, I think that is also coming here. And ultimately, if a technology is powerful, then everyone want to use it. Criminals also want to use it, and good people also want to use it. So because crypto is more associated with price volatility and it generates sensational headlines, I think the issues here are being covered more, highlighted because it's a budding industry again. And it is natural. But I think similar issues at a much higher scale is everywhere because criminals are not married to crypto industry, correct? Criminals are married to crime and they can do their crime anywhere. It's just that because it's a very powerful technology, they would be able to do powerful crime here. So, but again, the industry is getting mature and there are a lot of checks and balances being placed. So I think the first fundamental thing, I think the industry is more stabilized now, more mature now with more reporting standards. Myth is broken. Yes. And second thing is, I think people may think about crypto as just an investment or get rich scheme. I think if you are here into crypto for get rich, if you get rich quick, then I think that you will lose your money here because what I have seen here is in crypto and in traditional investment also, if you are not here to stay for a long term and if you don't understand your investment, then most probably you will lose your money. So I think if you are coming into Bitcoin because it is $120,000 and you want to put your money in, I think it may or may not work out. But if you believe that Bitcoin is a powerful technology being adopted by nations and you understand that why nations are adopting it, why ETFs are running it, and then if you are putting your money, then you will be better. So I think generally Bitcoin and crypto overall gets more traction, more coverage whenever there is a price volatility. But if you enter only during that time, then I think that's a myth that people just make money in crypto. People lose also money in crypto because like traditional equities and traditional investment, crypto also goes up and down.
And like any asset class, you have to stay invested.
Exactly.
What do founders like you want to see in this industry for it to thrive? What are some challenges and how can this industry thrive really?
I think there are two sets of problems that this industry face. If there is no regulatory clarity, then everything that you become, you have to second guess.
Second guessing.
Yes. And that creates a problem when you want to build applications which are very, very innovative. For an example, if AI gets regulated or gets scrutiny, the amount of scrutiny that crypto has gotten, if AI would get that much amount of scrutiny, then it would not have scaled up the way it is right now. So I think there is a regulatory clarity needed, but also there is a little bit more support needed for the founders and for the businesses being built, and not only from the regulators or government. They are doing what they can do for the industry size. Okay, but I think from the overall within investment ecosystem, within the users ecosystem as well, because these are new technology. If you are going to use a new phone, very new type of technology, then there would be certain issues, there would be certain learning curve. so on. So I think uh, the new needs little more love. And if this is something potential of like blockchain, then it should be nurtured and even with checks and balances in place. But I think it generally needs more support overall
Yeah, nurturing it and
from everywhere. And second, I think fundamentally, which I think we also do, we also need to do a lot. We need to bring a lot more new talent and traditional talent from traditional markets to this market. There are also Web3 native people, which is always very good if you have Web3 native colleagues within your organization who has these understand the Web3 lingo, understand the Web3 nuances, they understand the tech, they are very hands-on and all of these. But also, I think bringing in people from outside different markets, different experience, different exposure, brings a new perspective to the industry. So I think that is fundamentally needed, and that is not only about the technology or engineering part or product part. I think that goes everywhere, including compliance, risk, marketing, positioning, everywhere. I think we should welcome more and more talent coming from outside within this industry, and we need to make them understand what is the potential of this tech and why they should bet their career on this. I think that would be good for not only on the for the Web3 or blockchain industry, but that is overall good for global ecosystem.
Yes, some kind of cross pollination of talent and
Yes.
experiences to bring more innovation, more agility.
Yes, and I think that again it goes on to that. If there is a regulatory clarity, if there are more mature and stable people coming, stable companies are being built in this, they are funded in this industry, and then there is a little bit more positive coverage coming. There is a specific positioning around use cases or last mile value delivery to the customers, then I think the overall perception would also change and a lot more people would want to come. I think they need to experience the power of Web3 tech and industry, but at the same time, as a Web3 industry, we also need their expertise, their experience and perspective, which would help overall this ecosystem to mature.
So, Mahin, high stress environment, you're a founder twice over and probably more than that. And how do you stay so calm and peaceful? And what energizes you? How do you reset yourself? How do you deal with heavy situations?
So, first thing, do what you love outside of work. Of course, you should do it in the work also, but outside of work. So, I love reading. So, I read. I do not now get a lot of time to read, but I have a schedule where for a fixed time or whenever I'm, let's say, in a cab or something, I start reading. So I carry my Kindle everywhere. Uh, Meditation helps a lot. So I make sure that I do my meditation and my spiritual routine. On top of that, I think this is a start and stop. I want it to be continuous, but working on your health, doing either any sport or doing some exercise helps. And when you are with your family, spend time with them. Actually, don't spend time on phone. It's not about even work. It's more about that digital jail. So you should get out of the digital jail and actually spend time with them. Be interested in their lives and so on, wherever you are talking to your family or friends and so on. I think these are just very small fundamental things. I used to have a long list of these things, but I realized that these are tried and tested things that work for me. So generally, I stick to that.
Now we'll do a little bit of rapid fire. Mahin, what's your favorite food?
Dal bati,
What's your favorite destination?
Singapore.
Okay, you live in Singapore.
Yeah, I love it.
Last movie that you watched?
Wow.
Okay, you haven't watched in a while. Favorite movie?
The favorite movie has to be The Terminal, but I'm still trying to figure out. I think maybe 12th Fail. 12th Fail was
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice. Love that movie. And lastly, tell us what's one sport that you follow?
Cricket.
Any specific favorite players?
Now I think everyone who plays well, but I admire Rishabh Pant, the way he behaves on cricket pitch, not only about his batting and everything, but it's just the way he tries to figure out himself on the pitch, and Ben Stokes.
Thank you, Mahin. Thank you so much.
Thank you.